Hello, Internet. I'm AmazzonKane, and today I'm interviewing a really cool person. She's a viral cosplayer who specializes in Canadian-specific nostalgia. We're not on the same coast, we're not in the same time zone, and we're not even in the same country. But today, I'm going to be interviewing ZeeKayArt. And I hope you're as excited for this as I am. Hey, Z!
Hello.
Thank you for doing this, by the way.
You're welcome.
My first question for you, Z, is what's the story, if any, behind your name, ZeeKayArt?
So, what's the story behind ZeeKayArt? The story is very simple. I used to go by Zabuza Kakashi on DeviantArt, and that was a while ago, and it was probably like 2004-ish, around then. And people thought that was too long, so they called me ZK, the little Z and the little K. So I just extended that to Z and K, and then I added art because I'm very creative, and because I do art, I guess, is the reason. So Z and K and art, Zabuza Kakashi because of Naruto, and because I liked Naruto a whole lot, and those are my two favorite characters. That's the only reason. That's really it. There's nothing else. A lot of people mispronounce it, and they go ZeeKayArt, and they take away that first A there, and I'm like, all right, I guess. But that's not what I call myself. I've actually, I've thought about changing the name, but then people recognize me as that now, so I'm just like, I don't know. It's also really embarrassing when people who don't know me from the internet call me that. It's just, I get very embarrassed by that. I'm just like, oh god, that's my internet name that I've had for like the last 10 years. But yeah, that's the story.
I will admit, I stalk you significantly on social media, and you said recently you've been cosplaying for around 7 years. What first got you into it?
Anime North was a convention there still is a convention. Still is. I just speak in past tense because I don't really go to it anymore. But Anime North, we went in 2004 or 2005. I really can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was 2004 though, because I remember those guests being there. But who knows if the Wikipedia is right or not with the guest list on there. Anyway, we went there and I was like, whoa, these people are all dressed up. This is cool. Even though nobody dressed up in that era, but still, there's at least 5 people dressed up, and I was like, that's really cool. So the next year we were like, let's do it too. And then we did. And then the next year after that we did it as well. I don't know. But it wasn't really serious cosplay, I guess. Not like nowadays. You couldn't get wigs anywhere that weren't the Valley Village around Halloween. Getting a wig was oh man, you gotta go to Toronto to get a wig. I gotta go to the wig depot, I guess. So yeah, it was just a regular hair, and we were in high school, and it was lots of fun. And my friends made what did they do? My friend Michelle let me use her gi from karate. Thanks, Michelle. And they did all the patterns. I think Michelle did a lot of the patterning. She looked for it, and my mom helped me. My mom pretty much did everything. Sewing. I think that was my first year. I can't remember. Yeah, I really can't remember. It's really hard. I am very old now. What was it? I think my first costume was, who was it? It wasn't Kira. Was it Kira? No. Okay, so I was trying to be Aizen or Byakuya. I can't even pronounce the names now. From Bleach. I was trying to be someone from Bleach, and then I messed up the captain's cloak because I didn't know the right number to write on the back, and by the time I had done the wrong number, it was too late, and I was like, I can't be anybody. It's so dumb. And there's different types of captain's cloaks, I guess. Some of them have sleeves, some of them don't. So I think I'm 15 or 16 years old, and I'm just at a photo shoot, and I'm like, and people are like, who are you supposed to be? I'm like, I don't know, I don't really original character. I messed up. I messed up real bad. Yeah. So I messed up real bad. And then the next year after that, because my friend Mandy wasn't going to use her wig for Kisuke Urahara from Bleach. Big into Bleach back then. I asked her if I could use it for Kira, and then I was Kira, and all my friends were also from Bleach. It was very fun. It was cute. But yeah, I didn't do like any of the costume work myself. A very famous story within my friend group from high school is that we were going to make the shoes from Bleach. So we were gonna make these shoes, and we had to like, they weren't really shoes, they were like sandals. I don't know. I'll show you a picture of them, but they're just twine. So you just have to wrap twine in a certain way, and then it takes like 8 hours for one of these twine shoes, and then another 8 hours for another twine shoe. And I was gonna go over to my friend Michelle's house, and so were my other friends, so we could twine the shoes together. And I slept in real big, and they would never forget that for the rest of their lives. Even now, they're just like, haha, remember that time you slept in? I'm like, yes, I like my sleep. So what? Yeah. So old sleepin' McSleeper, that's me. But then I didn't even use the twine shoes because they fell apart, and I just bought sandals because I found some at like Payless. So I was like, haha, I actually have shoes.
And out of sheer curiosity, how do you choose your next projects? Is there a checklist you have? Do you just go through shows? I'd be curious.
So, I like a lot of things, and I hate a lot of things, but when I really like things, I like them so much. I like them a lot. I like them so much. I love them. I love things. You see the things back here? Love them. But yeah, how do I choose my next projects? There's a con coming up, and my friends are like, hey, you like this dumb thing? Do you want to do the dumb thing with me? And I say, heck yes. And then sometimes I say that to friends, and then they're like, heck yes, we want to do that dumb thing. And then they all ditch me. And I say,
I'm excited to talk about this one. So you went viral for this kick-ass Angela Anaconda costume that you did with your boyfriend. What inspired you to do it, and what do you love about the show?
you know, I usually do like Canadian stuff because I'm Canadian and I think it's funny. Because I think Canadian stuff is funny. Like me, I'm hilarious. What inspired that? Again, I do Canadian stuff. For Halloween, I usually try to do something Canadian there. Just because, you know, regular Halloween costumes are just like, I'm a witch. Ah. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. Like, if I have no time to do anything, sure, I'm a witch with a hat, and it's nice. But if I can think of something creative in order to win a contest or two, I'm going to think of the thing that is creative in order to win the contest or two, because I'm all about recouping my losses. My losses of buying cardboard or whatever. Like, oh, it took me $50 to make this costume, I'm gonna win $50. Like, that's how my brain works sometimes. What inspired that? So I grew up in Canada, and in Canada we have cartoons that are Canadian content, and they were played more than American cartoons because there's a law, and they're like, hey, you really need to play some Canadian content, otherwise you're gonna lose your cultural identity. And I said, all right, that sounds good. That's me as a 10-year-old. So Angela Anaconda comes on TV, and I am just like, this is funny. I like this show. She's crazy. Yeah. Just like me. Yeah. She's got freckles. I will have freckles later in life. I didn't really have them as a kid. Maybe it's because I stopped going out in the sun so much. I don't know. When we got rid of our pool. The pool. Yeah, I like the show. Johnny Abadi is in it, and he's an Italian stereotype, And I'm an Italian stereotype. Ah! Meatballs. I love meatballs. I love Nona. Well, my Nona is named Nanny because she thinks Nona is too old. It sounds too old. I was like, okay, Nanny. That's fine. Nani! I love her. Anyway, I thought it was funny. Uncle Nicky, hilarious. What do you love about that show? I would say all the Italian stereotype stuff in there. That's funny because I'm Italian and we just love making fun of ourselves. Italian Canadian, actually, I should probably specify, because you tell anybody that you're Italian and they're like, oh, from Italy, and it's like, no, I was born in Canada. No, I'm sorry, it's just how we say that. My grandparents were born in Italy, and my parents, well, I shouldn't say my grandparents, but my grandparents on my mother's side were born in Italy. How's that? That works. Yeah. So the show was funny. I loved Nanette. I loved Angela. I loved the entire Tapwater Springs setup there. What's funny is the Digimon thing. I only saw years later because I never saw the movie in theaters, and I'm just like, what is this? This is amazing. I did not know about this tie-in, sorry. And yeah, that's great. So
your Angela Anaconda cosplay is actually how I found you. Somebody passed it along to me. This is going to be the most selfish question in the whole thing, but you know I'm working towards rebooting it, and the show is much more beloved in Canada than it is here in the United States. What would fans, or you specifically, think of the idea of the show coming back?
There's been a lot of shows coming back lately, and I just feel like if the show is good, if it comes back, people are ecstatic, and they're like, oh my god, it came back and it's actually good, oh my god. If it comes back and it's bad, people are going to be very disappointed and be like, no. But it's so stupid because things come back and the target audience of the original show is usually children. And then the people that watch it are not children, and they're picking it apart with their glasses and they're, this is entertaining for me, I'm an adult. It's for children. So it's who are you bringing this show back for?
Wow, that's a really good question. And I don't want to take this interview away from you, but I do want to answer that. For starters, I'm making it for myself. First and foremost, it's for me, because I love the show so much. I connect with it in a way that I haven't really connected with anything else. Angela Anaconda does for me what Frozen and Star Wars and Harry Potter have done for so many people. And I connect with it because Angela's allowed to get angry. That she's allowed to fully express herself through the revenge fantasies, that she does not hold back, and they're weird, and they're violent, and they're wonderful. It's also a natural reaction someone would have to being bullied like she is. I mean, you can even see the shirt, "See you in my revenge fantasies." I was someone who was bullied a lot by different girls for many years. And whenever I spoke up, whenever I defended myself, whenever I got angry about it, I was the one punished. That led to a lot of resentments. And this show's cathartic for that. I like that anger is shown as a positive thing rather than a negative thing. And this show is before Mean Girls, before the anti-bullying movement, before mental health, before people were really aware of the effects that bullying and abuse can have on kids. I love it for that. And it's also funny. It's never preachy. It's very funny, and it doesn't talk down to you. I'm making it for the kids who grew up with it, who are now adults, as well as a new audience who will appreciate it, because bullying and anger and difficult people are not going to go away.
But just when things are brought back and things change, people hate change because they're people. God. Organic web shooters. I hate those.
I would say it's much more relevant now than it was then. Angela Anaconda is also a show that would, more than others, benefit from changes and benefit from getting rebooted. because it's a show that was criticized on the internet for so long, and there are legitimate criticisms for it. I think part of the reason people have such strong opinions for it, there's a lot of people who love it, but I think for some of the people who have such strong negative feelings to it, I think it's because people want to like it, but something's lost in translation. That's why it should come back.
But yeah, I think like anything, people would like it, people would hate it. I think a lot of people who hated the original show would probably still hate it. There's not any winning those people back, but there's a lot of people who thought it was funny, like me, who would probably really like to see some more episodes done in like a modern time.
Speaking of unpopular opinions, you unashamedly love another piece of widely hated media, which is Spider-Man 3. I've seen you cosplay from it, you made your own panel about its good qualities. I'd love to know what was in this panel and what do you love so much about Spider-Man 3?
Okay, it's not so much that I love it so much that I absolutely hate every other movie version that has been live action that has come out after Spider-Man 3. So I believe everything else that has come out after that, live action, has been inferior and has just been like, why are you even making these if you're just dumb and you don't know what's a Spider-Man? So, what do I love so much about it? There's obviously so much detail that I can go into this. I made a PowerPoint presentation on it, and I made a panel, and it's just people don't appreciate it because they thought it would be super amazing, like on the same level as Spider-Man 2, and it just wasn't on the same level as Spider-Man 2 because there was a lot of interference. There's a lot of interference from producers and everybody, and they're just all like, hey, Sam Raimi, can you do all this stuff? And he was like, I guess. It's not gonna be good, but oh god, I'm gonna try. And then they tried, and it wasn't good, and he was like, oh, Nikes. Or whatever substitute swear word Sam Raimi uses, but it just wasn't as good as he hoped it would be. But there's still a lot of pieces of that movie that are extremely enjoyable, and I like to appreciate them because I really like Tobey Maguire as Peter, and I just like the movie. It's just a funny movie. It's funny to watch with friends and just be like, what the hell is going on here? It's just like, it's on the same level of Street Fighter for me. I watch Street Fighter a whole lot, like the one with Jean-Claude Van Damme, because it's just ridiculous and there's a lot of things happening and you're just like, why? But there's also good parts in it too. So, it's just some things you just choose to like. And you don't really want to defend yourself, but people are like, hey, you like something weird here, so tell us why.
Out of sheer curiosity, is that something that's difficult for you? Do you find that you have to defend yourself a lot?
I like things that are kind of weird because I'm kind of weird. Not everybody's like me in this world, really, at all. So, is it difficult for me? Do I need to defend myself a lot? Like, that's just me being alive.
I think that's true for a lot of people, having to defend yourself a lot. I think it comes with the territory of being a nerd, a weirdo, a creative person, even defending yourself from other nerds, weirdos, creative people. You'd think we know better, but we don't. Switching themes, but not really. You just cosplayed Ananas, which is a French character from the show Télé Français, which is much more strictly Canadian than some of the other costumes. What is this character, to those of us non-Canadians, What is the story of this character, and what makes him nostalgic to Canadian audiences?
I saw this in university when someone showed it to me on YouTube, and I thought it was the most terrifying thing of all time. So it wasn't so much my memory, but it was the memory of a lot of other people. And like I said, I like doing specifically Canadian things, and that is one of the specifically Canadian things. Even though I didn't have that experience as a kid, a child, I guess, I had the experience when I was an adult ish in university, like first or second year, I can't remember, when somebody showed me it, and I was like, ah, because I think they were taking French or something, and they're just like, oh yeah, don't you remember Téléfrancais? And I was like, remember what now? And maybe it's just, it was shown to me, and it's just blocked into the back of my mind, like, what's it called, repressed memory? Like, it could be, and I'm just repressing it, and I just don't have that memory anymore because it's gone. But I do remember watching King Kong in French, so I don't know. What makes it part of Canadian nostalgia? I don't know, it just terrorized children because puppets are scary. To like a number of people, puppets are terrifying. They're just like, and then it's just scary. It's not a person. Why is it moving? Why is it talking? Get it out of here.
You just did a charity drive for the Hospital Extra Life, and you used your cosplay skills to raise some money. What are some of the things you've been doing to achieve that goal?
All right, so the charity drive, raising some money, doing cosplay. What did we do? We did the Téléfrancais tier, which was $8.88, and that was, I had to wear the Téléfrancais ananas costume. And yeah, we got a few donations for that. That was pretty good. Yeah, it was for Extra Life. So Extra Life is a gaming marathon charity, and I've been doing that for like 8 or 9 years. I can't remember. Oh, it's so long. Not 10 though. Not 10 yet. Probably 8. But yeah, I've been doing it for a while, and every year just get bigger and crazier with the stuff that we do. And Michael got involved. He's my boyfriend, and he wore an egg costume for $100. And he wore it for the end of the stream, and yeah, someone was like, hey, if you wear that Téléfrancais pineapple for an hour, I'll give you, what was it was like $88 or something. I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Why not? I'll do it. So costume charity together. Cost charity. It's beautiful.
Which cosplay out of all the ones you've done was the toughest one to make?
You know what? Anything with a mask is pretty hard. I'm gonna go get it. Hold on. So, this guy is from Kinnikuman, which is a wrestling anime about like some space wrestlers. Let's see if this works. Ooh. Ooh. It's gotta be like straightened or whatever, but you get the picture. It's a helmet. Kind of. It's kind of a helmet. I don't know. There's like things happening on the inside of here. I don't know. But anything that I've never done before is hard because then I have to learn how to do it. So making that helmet was hard. Oh my god, my hair. Because I'd never done it before. Like something that like form fits my head, and then like that whole costume, I made a muscle suit for it. That was pretty tough. I don't know, it took a while just because of like the muscle suit. I had to sew like the muscles into the spot where the muscles go. Hold on, I gotta fix my hair here. My hair looks better now. Yeah, muscles. You gotta sew the muscles into where the muscles go, and that was And like I had help from a friend on that costume too, in exchange for another costume, which I'm not going to wear again. Yeah, she helped me with like the collar, because I'm like, this is too hard, it's spandex, and it's supposed to be a freaking rectangle, and I'm just getting a lumpy circle. It's stupid. Help me. So she did, and it looks great.
And you go to a lot of conventions. What are your top 3 favorite cons?
You know what? I only have 2 that are my favorite. No, let's go with 3. Let's go with 3. Yeah, let's do that. So number 1 is Colossal Con. It's my favorite convention. It's amazing. It's pretty close to here, like 8 hours-ish drive, with a bunch of stops and like food breaks. I love Colossal Con. It's a water park resort smashed with a convention. It's perfect. It is the ultimate vacation for me. It's fun to just like go out there and tan, I guess, in a stupid costume and have weird tan lines. That's it. And have like a margarita that's like this big and you're just like, this is great. My other favorite convention is Dragon Con. Dragon Con is extremely well run. It is everything a regular convention should be and more. It's a non-stop party. Again, I really like parties. I really like people having a good time, and people are just having a good time all the time at Dragon Con. The way that the hotels are lined up is just like, oh my god, this is amazing. But it's very far away and very expensive, so that's why I've only been the one time. Still my second favorite con. Well, it's my favorite con that doesn't have a water park attached to it, I guess you can call that. And my third favorite con is YetiCon. YetiCon's pretty good. It is it's pretty small and it's up in Blue Mountain, but they took like an idea and they made it into a great convention, and lots of people have lots of fun there, and I'm one of them. And again, like the hotel situation is really interesting because there's already a ton of hotels there, so like if this con gets much bigger, it's just going to be exactly like Colossal-ish, sort of. Like they have like a drinking thing there. You can't really have open containers, but Colossal is just like, yeah, buy our booze, please drink. But yeah, Yeti's more like chill version of Colossal, I would say. But like I just get annoyed by there's so many people who are just like, what's going on here? Why is everybody all dressed up for? I'm just like, I don't want to answer this for the freaking 100th time. I'm just cosplaying. It's just a costume.
So you are so passionate, so weird, so awesome, and you have no problems going full force into any given project, which is honestly really, really cool to see. Are there any funny or embarrassing stories from conventions that you'd like to share?
I have no problem going full force into any project. Great. Yes. I love passion. I am very weird. Awesome. That too. Yeah. Love the compliments. That's great. Funny or embarrassing stories from cons that you want to share? Funny or embarrassing stories. You know what? I have like so many con stories, and I am planning on writing a comic or a book or something about it, so I'm not going to share any of them.
Fine then, keep your box of mysterious Canadian secrets. Then, if you're comfortable answering this, out of the characters you've cosplayed, which one resonates the most with you, and why?
Probably Cyber 6. People really love Cyber 6 because they're like, oh, the show was amazing, and it just ended. And I'm like, every time I'm like, I know, it sucks. I wish there was more. Because I really do, and I also own Cyber 6. It's somewhere over there. The DVD box set's over there. Love Cyber 6 because it was really, really good. And it had no right being that good. No right. Nothing. Nobody. Why is it that good? I don't know. It was amazing. It was dark. It was creepy. It was like well voice acted, I guess. Like the animation is spectacular, and like it was Canadian-ish. Production. Why? Why is that good? Yeah, I'm gonna say that one. I'm gonna say Cyber 6.
Last question. according to your Huffington Post interview, your next cosplay is going to be Dot from the series Reboot. When can we expect to see that?
Dot from Reboot. When can you expect to see Dot from Reboot? I'm doing that for Dragon Con next year. Hopefully we'll have a group. But we all know how groups turn out with me. Oh no, it's fine. Probably. No, it's fine. Groups of 2 are fine. Groups of 2, that's fine. That usually is great. But like, you start putting like 3 or 4 people together in a group, it's like, I think all of these people are going to drop because they think that, oh, it's going to be okay. Just because I drop out, they're going to have like 3 other people still. It's going to be fine. And then everybody drops except me, and I got my costume, and it's 90% done, and I'm like, I hate this. Why? But if there's 2 people, then it's just like, oh God, if I don't do it, and they're just going to be alone by themselves. That's how human psychology works, I think, with these things, with groups and group dropping and cosplay, and yeah. So yeah, that's when you can expect to see it.
Well, thank you again for doing this.
Yeah, thank you for the interview. This is lots of fun. I love talking to myself. But you're there, sort of, kind of.
It's awkwardly edited together. Don't worry.
That's about it.
Looking forward to seeing more of your work, and see you later when you see me.
Okay, bye.